Okay, now he's playing against Kholmov, Ratmir.
Against Kholmov. Kholmov was
Kholmov.
a little bit unknown, let's say. I mean, not so popular like many other grandmasters from the Soviet Union, but also very dangerous and very strong grandmasters. And here, Spassky played the King's Gambit. I mean, from time to time, he liked to play the King's Gambit, and had a lot of success against very strong players. I mean, he could beat. I mean, if I remember well, he could beat once even Bobby. He won with King's India, with King Gambit against
Mm.
Bobby Fischer. Can you imagine? I mean, by this level. No, he played very well. And of course, the King's Gambit is very dangerous in every position, and you have to be very careful with black, you see. So, okay, knight c3. This is a little bit not so popular like the main line. The main line with his knight f3, d4, immediately trying to get back the pawn from f4. But here he plays first knight f3, giving the possibility to give a check in h4. It seems it's okay for black, but it's not so easy to do something. I mean, instead of knight f6, the possibility is to play here immediately bishop h4 check. And after bishop h4 check, king e2. Unbelievable, king e2.
Yeah.
But now what to do with black, because if you let him play, you have some problems. I mean, you have to retreat now the bishop because he wants to play immediately d4 and bishop takes f4. And the problem is to go back with the bishop where? Only in f6 or in g5.
Yeah.
If you go to g5, then d4 and then immediately h4. And clearly better for white, even with the king in e2, which is a little bit unusual, but it's possible. Okay, so that's another possibility. So he preferred knight f6. Okay, knight f6, the e5. That gives two tempos for white. I mean, he sacrificed the pawn, like always in King's Gambit, but has time to come out with every piece, you see. So, all right, d4. And the idea now for black is to play immediately knight e3. Okay, knight e3.
But here, if there will be h3, what is?
If he plays h3, now the check in h4 is much stronger, you see.
Okay.
It's decisive for black, you see. Now you are lost with white. If you play h3, bishop h4 check, and you can resign with white. Because everything is forced, you see. h3, bishop h4 check. If you take in h4 is mate. If you play king e2, now is a very big difference because the knight comes to f2 and you resign. You see, attacking the queen and the rook, and you are lost with white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, now d4. Okay, now d4, knight d3, takes. Okay. Later on, he can take the pawn with a piece in e3, but now he comes out with a piece. And we see the difference. After the opening, what could, come out with every piece has the center, has initiative, white is better, clearly better. Okay, bishop c4. Now black wants to free himself a little bit with d6. Castle. And knight, castle also. And queen d3. Queen d3. Preparing all kinds of, tactical tricks later on. Why is white clearly better here? Because he takes under control the big diagonal d3, h7. And he has a very good bishop in c4 attacking already the pawn from f7. Therefore, he has a strong initiative. So what to do? Knight c6. Okay, knight c6. If he took him immediately in e5 was even worse because the knight is coming attacking 3 times in f7, probably losing already black, if he allows this. So now white has to do something. He takes himself in d6. Now he took with the pawn and rook e1. I mean, he wants to take with the rook in e3, not with the queen. The queen has to be there on the white diagonal,
Maybe to block the bishop.
To block the bishop and have to under control the square h7 later on for some initiative. So rook e1, very logical, of course. Bishop g4. Okay, rook takes and king h8. He doesn't like to have such a strong diagonal with such threat, and he prepares to go away with the king, hoping he has time to push the pawn or somehow escape from this tactical threat, later on. But the position is already very unpleasant for black. White has a strong initiative, black has no counterplay. Again, So knight d5 prepares again. Every piece comes, you see. Okay, bishop g5 now. Okay, he wants to force you to take, yourself in g5. Okay, he took. He took there and rook g3. Now, again, you have to move something because he threatens rook f4 and h3.
Yeah.
Okay, queen there. All right. So, knight e3. Again, very logical. What to do? You have to go back, There. And knight f5. Now again, you have to take a decision. You take in the f5 or you don't take. If you don't take, it's terrible because you lose at least the pawn from d6, completely losing. So what to do? He took. Now rook takes, and he played there. The problem is that he can't play rook queen h7, h6, pardon, because he loses the pawn from f7 immediately, and it's finished for black. So okay, queen h4. He hopes to have some tactical counterplay. And here c3. The only good counterplay for black was to attack the pawn from d4, but it's not enough, of course. He protects the pawn from d4, and he has the same threats.
Yeah.
Very unpleasant position for black if you have to move back the queen, again, trying to protect the pawn from f7. But now, again, it's very unpleasant because everything is forced in a few moves. So, rook there. Now, again, he wants to take. Now, what to do? Knight d8. The only defense.
He cannot push the pawn?
If he pushes the pawn, rook h5 wins.
Rook h5?
Yeah. Mate. He threatens mate. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, queen e4. He prepares. He prepares the final blow, you see. So what to do? g6. Okay, if you have to play g6, it happens like in their game, you see. Queen h4. This is decisive. Now he threatens check in f7, in f6.
Yes.
And the combination that happened in their game, the final combination. Now, if he gives the queen for two rooks, queen takes f5,
Yes.
Only with the queen, because if he takes with the pawn, he's mate. If he takes with the pawn, queen f6 check, king g8, rook g3 mate.
Yes.
So you have to take with the queen. But again, it's lost for black, because after queen takes f5, rook takes f5, g takes f5, queen f6 check, king there, and now quiet bishop d3. Threatens queen takes f5 and mate in a7.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah.
Terrible. So, if he couldn't play like this, they play like in their game. Now, rook g8. And now rook takes f7 and black resign. You have to take,
Yes.
Takes with the rook. If you don't give the queen, it's mate in h7. If you give the queen, of course, completely winning. So black resign.
Yes.
Lesson again. Very nice lesson.
Powerful attack.
Yeah, again, very beautiful and very logical, And in that time, very important theoretical, After this game, it was very nice, for every strong player that liked to play the King's Gambit. Everybody was very happy to see something like this.
To see this continuation.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.